Make my home on Mississippi. I'm around so bad on the steamboat line. We hear the day on a Monday morning and make the dogs on a Saturday night. Very well, Uncle Bill, see you in the morning, yes sir. Run, my run, run, my run. Gonna beat you right, right in the sun. Right, right in the sun, Lord, right, right in the sun. Them was a big bad horse for that shaggy man. Run all around me, buzz. Beat the man for his train, Lord, beat the man for his train.
Country bumpkin.
Yeah. And a bit of magic.
Whoa.
And if there's rain, we'll make that part of the story. So if you'd like to follow us, we'll bring you down and we'll get the stories on the way. Okay?
Hey. For a queen, or he will not receive one of my offspring. She got on her white steed, went out from the town centre. She went over to Renmore. She went to Duishka. She went west side. She went towards Athenry. And she landed here. There, in fact. And she saw this beautiful castle. Partially built, partially deteriorated. And she said, Dominic Dove, if you want me as you say you do, I want this castle. But I want it 2 stories higher so I can see Galway Bay in all of its scenic glory. I want it now! That's what she said. Dominic wanted to please her. He wanted to do everything for Morarua, who had wildly gotten her way. So there was nobody else to call on but the Gobon Sair. Now, the Gobon Sair was a titan of construction, the most patient man in Ireland. He was as patient as she was beautiful. He was as gifted as she was beautiful. He was a stonemason. He was a carpenter. He was a blacksmith. He had hands like shovels. He had fists like sledgehammers. He was so tall he required no scaffolding, but yet, if a nail required driving in, with one flick of his wrist he could fly the hammer up to the beam, nail would be shot in, and it would retrieve in his hand in 2 seconds flat. The Galway Seer, this titan of architecture, could put up a castle in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I kid you not. Galway Seer was commissioned by Dominic Dove. He came to this very spot and Dominic told him his wishes. And then Mara strolled along. And Mara Rua, the mere sight of her, put even the magical, mythical Galway Seer to his knees. He went, "Lady, whatever it is you want, I will make for you, and I will make it 10 times better, and I vow herewith to produce the most beautiful sculpture of female beauty in honour of your own." She said, "Okay." So he set about work. The Galway Seer was 2 stories up. He was flying up the blocks, he was flying up the bricks, he was doing the second fixing, he was doing the carpentry, he was doing the ironwork, he was putting in windows, he was doing everything. And Mara decided, once a week, I'm going to visit. And I'm going to oversee what it is you're doing for me. Go on. Is that okay? Of course, Mara Rua. No problem, Mara Rua. This patient man set about diligently to fulfill the vow he made to her. She strode out on her steed from town. And being very happy with the work that he had accomplished, half of what he was commissioned to do was already done. She arrived and she went, "Oh! No! Oh! The choice of angle! The position of window! The place of fired sight! Oh! I couldn't dream of inviting all the finest people of Galway to dine in this castle with me! This does not represent who I am!" The Galway Seer had never before heard a complaint from any of his commissions, but he took it on the chin. He went, "Of course, Mara Rua. Oh, reeling inside, so angry. But of course, Mara, whatever you want, Mara, whatever you want." And she would take off on her steed through the woods. And he would go, "May the devil rise up and fly away with you, devil a bit will I knock." And he would be corrupted with anger and frustration. And then he would go, okay. Let's keep it between the ditches. I have never before left a job unfinished. I will carry on and I will do it to her satisfaction." So away he did. The second week came. He answered her needs. She arrived again on the same day every week. And what do you think she said? "No! Oh, you haven't been listening to me, Gubon. Oh, I'm going to tell Dominic about this. It will not happen on my watch." Yes, Mara. Yes, no, okay, yeah, fine, Mara. She would fly away on her steed, and again he would go, "Well, then may the devil rise up and fly away with you. Devil and wall will I knock." But he would compose himself and say, "No, I will carry forth and I will fulfill the vow I made to this beautiful woman." Week after week, after month, after month, after year, in the 3rd year, the 52nd week of the 3rd year, Mara Rua arrived, and he was just putting the finishing touches on the beautiful roof of the castle. And she finally said, "Gabon, I think you may have completed my dream, my vision. I will be back here in the morning to see my beautiful sculpture, and then I shall release you." Now this poor man had a million other jobs lined up that he had to put off until he had finished. He could never leave a job until it was done. So at sunrise the next morning, Gubon arrived with it. And this sculpture of female beauty that he was to dedicate to Máire Rua, he started tinkering away at a window. He was carving and carving and carving, and a little engravement of a squatting woman with no hair, on Cailleach wheel, as haggard as she was rotten to the core. And this is the emblem of beauty he left at the entrance to one of her windows. And then he took off, for he had fulfilled his promise to this wily woman. Now the mythical, magical nature of this Gobán Saor seeped through the buildings, through the stones, into every facet, nook, cranny, corner of the castle. No party ever filled the great dining, what was that? The great dining hall that he had erected for her. No child ever passed her hips or cried softly in any of the rooms on the top floor that he had so carefully crafted for her. The Síle na gig symbol at the window was Gobán Saor, revenge served cold. Máire Rua died here, shriveled like a prune and squatting, showing her wares to whatever man would look at her. But she did not have that. That is the story of Máire Rua.
Now you might have to gather up close to here.
Want to gather up?
Are we all good?
I think we've got everybody, have we?
And we have a pixie in a tree.
Pixie in a tree. We've been rehearsing this all week.
Yeah.
Well, we came out this far from the castle because the story I'm about to tell you involves the castle, and it involves a distance about this from the castle. What is he talking about? I hear you all say. Well, there once was a lady that was a bit of a Máire Rua, a bit of an old, you know, you wouldn't cross this lady, right? Because she was a witch. In the night time, she would be an elderly lady, and she would walk around and say hello to people and hope that nobody saw who she was. But during the daytime, she could transform herself into a lovely, elegant bird who could swoop around the place, or she would slither as like a snake through the bushes, or even become a little mouse and just hang out. Suffice it to say, you had to watch yourself around this lady. And she lived in a castle like that, and if you came too close to the castle, the men coming too close would be caught still and unable to move until the witch said it's okay to move. And one day, there was this guy called Seamus and this lady called Máire, and they were in love. I'm trying to connect with my younger audience. And they were very much in love, and they were frolicking in the woods, having a great old time, hanging out in trees. I used you perfectly there? No? They were hanging out in trees, and the sun was coming down, like about this time of the evening. And they were having a bit of a chat, a bit of a heart-to-heart. And then Seamus realised, we gotta get out of here. But just as he realised that, and was about to, he was stuck. And he waited. And he looked over to his lovely Máire. And just at that moment, that old lady had turned into an owl and was coming swooping down beside him and transformed into the old lady and turned the girlfriend Máire into a lovely little nightingale. Put her into a little cage and off she took her up to the attic of the great big house. And up in the attic of the great big house there was 700 or more of these lovely ladies, all turned into lovely nightingales. So Seamus stuck there waiting. The sun went down, the moon went up, he waited, and he waited. And eventually the next morning, about 11:30, he left. because his heart had given in and he said he had to go. He had to leave it all behind. And so he went and he worked as a sheep farmer up in Duishka. And he, was trying to figure out what to do. But then one of the evenings after he'd done all the sheeping, he was having a bit of a sleep. And he had this beautiful dream. And inside the dream he saw a beautiful orchid. And he knew from that dream that this orchid was going to be something that would help him to save his love and to get back everything, really. So he woke up and he had this, he just went around and he searched everywhere for a bit of an, sorry, have you seen an orchid around here? And nobody could help him no matter what. Have you seen an orchid around here? Nobody could help him. Until, beneath all these lovely snowdrops and daffodils, what's this beautiful little orchid? What am I going to do with this orchid? I don't know, but let's go back to the castle. And so I went back to the castle, and as he got about this close, he kept going like that to make sure he wasn't stuck. And eventually he thought, oh, I'm okay. And so he ran up to the door of the castle, and it was closed, not by bolts, but by the enchanted spell that lady had put on it. But as he got closer, the orchid's power it opened. Fantastic. And he comes into the door and he looks up and there's a spiral of all these bird cages with all these tweeting nightingales. And he can see from the corner of his eye that old woman hag taking his nightingale lady away out up into the back garden. And so he started to turn one cage into the nightingale. Beautiful lady, not my lady. Turning another nightingale. And they're all naked as well because they've been birds for so long. So it was, okay, it's not you, okay, it's not you, okay, no, it's not you. And eventually, there you are. And then the hag came towards him. It was almost like a bit of a Star Wars moment. No lightsabers, it was just that kind of. And then he put the orchid to her face and she turned into dust and dropped on the ground. And he turned the nightingale into a lady, and it was his love. He took his coat off and put it around her. He didn't look at any of the ladies. I didn't see any naked ladies. And they had a beautiful life together, lived happily ever after, and all the other 700 lonely ladies lived happily ever after too.
Hey.